Yo, yo, yo! It's Marlo. This is Paradigm Shift. I was trying to come in with energy because I felt like my last videos, I was just saying, hey, welcome to Paradigm Shift. Anyways, what's up? Today is a special episode. I am doing a request from one of my followers, one of my friends, and she asked, can you do a video specifically talking about imposter syndrome? So I am not fully knowledgeable about imposter syndrome, but, I Wikipedia'd it, and basically it is feeling like an imposter usually it's in work, in your vocation, but obviously it can translate into relationships. It can translate into basically anything you're doing in your art. And it usually happens when you gain a certain amount of success, right? So you are successful in something, your job, your art, you're gaining some notoriety. People are starting to come to you and you feel like, I don't deserve this. Why is everybody liking me, or why are people paying me this much, or I don't deserve it, right? You feel like you don't deserve what you're getting, whether it could literally be anything. So the first thing I will say is, this to me is a problem with being present, because when you are thinking about being an imposter, right? You don't just feel like an imposter without the thought behind it. Maybe you're sitting in your bed, lying down in your bed, about to go to sleep, and that thought comes up and you start to think, wow, I'm making so much money right now. People are trusting me so much right now, right? And most of us aren't used to that. We're not used to big success or success. And we're always used to kind of staying in that middle ground of like, I'm just basically holding on and floating and living paycheck to paycheck. So if you start to gain money when you never really had that previously, then you start thinking. And it's those thoughts, those creeping thoughts, right? You might not believe that thoughts are a problem. But this is why I always talk and preach about being present, because presence is an absence of thought. And I'm not, just to clarify, I'm not saying that thought is bad. Thoughts are useful. Thinking is useful. You need to plan something. You got to plan a trip. You got to set goals. You got to think, I'm making this dish for dinner. What ingredients do I need? You got to think. But the problems arise when the thoughts become loops and you start thinking about how great your job is, how much money you're making, and then it ends up as, I'm an imposter. I don't deserve this. That doesn't happen if you're present. And that's the first thing I'm going to say, is you need to work on presence. You need to really understand what that means. You can go back to my videos. In the comments, the YouTube comments, you can tell me little aspects like, I don't understand this. I can talk about it, make videos on it. But I have videos. Some of my first videos are about presence. I talk about presence in every video because it's literally the answer to all the problems, right? But, if every video I came out and said, presence is the answer, and then the video would be 2 minutes, it would be 1 second. Presence is the answer, 5 seconds, right? So we can talk about it a little more. What does this entail? It's you believing that you are not good enough, that the success that you did this, all the success that you have had has been from your hands, from your work, from the things that you have done. And it doesn't just come out of nowhere. Maybe if you were born into a rich family, and you were just handed the reins of a company, a multi-million dollar company, and you never had to work a day in your life. There's a legitimate thing there where it's like you didn't work for this. But most of us don't get that. Most of us grind. We take time out of our lives, a lot of time. Most of the day, you are working. So you just got to kind of look back and say, do I deserve this, right? You deserve it if you put in the work, if you put in the steps. You might not deserve it if you didn't do anything, if it just fell on your lap. But even then, I would say the universe is just giving you something that you deserve. The universe, it doesn't just give you things out of nowhere. I mean, you have to have a certain energy, which is usually a positive, good, neutral, joyful energy to receive joyful, positive, good things back. You meet people in your lives, and I've met a bunch of people in my life going through life, and they always seem to have some sort of problem. Something bad is going on. Something horrible is going on. And a lot of those things might seem out of their control. But usually it's the energy that they carry with them at most of the time. These are the people who complain constantly, who bash others, who are constantly thinking negative thoughts, who are doing negative things. They're the type of people who believe that they're entitled to anything. They don't see joy. They're not grateful. These things can be problems that they have had since childhood. Maybe their family situation was brutal. Maybe something horrible happened to them. And I'm very empathetic to people like that. Because honestly, my childhood, my life growing up was amazing. I had amazing family and friends. And I never really had huge traumas. So I can't judge someone who has those traumas. It's not their fault. But I'm hoping that as you grow older, as you hopefully realize through your presence that you have these traumas, that you have things wrong with you, then you are searching to try to fix them, to try to help yourself. And, kind of going a little off topic, but it's about how you see the world too. Having imposter syndrome, feeling like you're not, you don't deserve the things that you have in your life, is really a negative form of thought. And it's being unconscious. It's the opposite of presence. People who are present, they see the world in a beautiful light. They see, they see the world and they expect good things to happen because they give to people, they give joy, they give love. If you are giving that in your life, if you're giving joy, if you're giving hard work, if you're giving positive attitude, then those things will come back to you. It's just the laws of the universe. And maybe you never had success in your life, and this is the first success that you've had. If you reject this success and you believe that you're not meant to have it, the universe is going to feel that energy from you, and it might start withholding these things from you. When it starts to sense that you don't like these things, right? You're sending out a negative energy when you get positive, good things. Well, the universe senses that, and it stops giving you what it believes that you want. So if you're sending out a negative energy when you get a positive thing, the universe is going to say, okay, this being does not want this positive thing. Because you got to remember, the universe doesn't necessarily see things through our lens. Our lens is relative to being a human, to being on Earth, The universe is just working in its kind of infinite wisdom, and us humans are just a part of that, experiencing it through our human lens. It doesn't necessarily apply. There's no good and evil in a universe sense, right? If a star dies, it's not looked at as a bad thing. If a star explodes and it kills other stars, the universe isn't saying, whoa, that star is a murderer, right? Murder is only relative to our world. And yes, in our world, it's a very negative vibe to murder. It's a very, it's there are negative and positive vibes in our world. So we have to live by those rules, but also understand a universal rule, which is the universe is going to give you what you want, what you're projecting. And so being present, being in the moment, you're just going to be accepting these things. That's what it is when you're present. It's something comes to your way, could be a negative or positive thing. You either deal with it. You have three basically choices, and that's accepting the moment, saying something or trying to change it, or removing yourself from the moment, right? Maybe you're getting success in your job and it's too much stress for you. You're making a lot of money and it's beautiful and you're buying things and you're traveling the world, but the stress on your body and your mind is just way too much. Maybe you're trying to tell yourself that you don't want this. And then you start hearing from outside people, wow, you're doing so well. You're making so much money. You're traveling, blah, 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 but you really don't want it. So being in tune with yourself, being in tune with the moment is basically going to tell you what you need to do. You're either going to accept it, which is you're making money, you're getting praises, or you're in a great relationship for the first time, and you just accept it. This is my life. This is awesome. I'm grateful for these things that are coming in. Or you say something about it. Maybe the hours are too much and, you don't want to work that much. I mean, it depends on what industry you're in, but, you could say, I don't want to work overtime hours anymore. I can't do it. It's affecting my health. You try to change what's happening, or you remove yourself from the situation. So yes, you're making a lot of money, you're getting a lot of success, but you're done with it. You need to be present to really understand what you need, what your body needs, what your mind needs, right? So just because you're getting success, just because you're successful in an area doesn't mean you have to stick with it, that it's what you have to do. But those are your options, right? You accept it and you feel the joy of it. You're grateful. You change it. You try to get better hours, or you leave. And really, the feeling of being an imposter is rejecting the reality of the situation. The situation is something great is coming into your life, right? Maybe you haven't had these great moments recently. But somewhere in your life, growing up, anything, a sporting event, a relationship, a first love, helping somebody, you've had these positive things happen in your life. And, when they're smaller, it's so much easier to accept. But when they're this big thing, right, you fall in love for the first time and the relationship is going so well. But in the back of your mind, you're thinking, I don't deserve this. This isn't for me. I'm not this type of person. Why am I getting this amazing stuff? It's because you have worked on yourself. You have given out a certain positive energy. You have done something for the universe to give this to you. And if you reject it, the universe is going to slowly realize that you don't want this and it's not going to give it to you anymore. So obviously, if it's something good for you, if it's a beautiful relationship, a great job, great times, you need to accept it. You need to it's not even a realization. You just accept it, right? It just happened to you. But there were so many more steps that you did to make your present situation happen, right? The universe works, but it's not just instantly. You put in the groundwork to get up to where you're at right now. Wherever you're at right now, remember 5 years ago when you wanted this thing, when you worked so hard, when you sacrificed a lot. That's how you're here right now. You didn't just get it. It didn't just manifest instantly. These manifestations take a long time, and it's a long time of action. It's not just thought, right? You did it. No one gave these things to you. You slowly build up your resume, or, for relationships, you slowly worked on yourself and became a beautiful, happy, great person, right? The situation that you're in now is completely because of yourself. And when you let unconscious thought in, it starts to trick you and make you believe that you don't deserve it, that you didn't do anything, that this is going to be a fleeting moment. It's not. You did everything. You created your world. You are literally the creator of everything in your life. Whether that's good, whether that's positive or negative, you have to look yourself in the mirror and say, my life is negative right now. I am going to take control of these moments of learning how to be present. I'm going to take control, and we're going to make it positive, and it's going to grow slowly. Or if it's positive, you look in the mirror and you say, wow, I did this. I put in the work. There wasn't anybody forcing me or pulling my strings or making me do this. I sat down and did it. We have such a short-term memory that we forget the struggles, the grind, the time and the sacrifice that we put in, because we're only thinking about yesterday or a week ago. Wherever you're at right now, it started. The chain reaction was such a long time ago, we probably forgot. So to sum it all up, you got to really look to presence, because, when I make these videos, I maybe think about what I'm going to say a little bit, or I research into the subject, but everything that I'm saying now is not written down. It's flowing through my ability to be present. And the words and things are just kind of like the universe expressing itself. And I feel like I'm just saying these truths. And it's because I put in the work, because I studied about presence 10 years ago, maybe longer, around 10 years ago is when I started this, right? So where I'm at now is just, I'm so grateful for it, but I know that I put in the work. I know that I did that. And, if anything, I feel a little behind of where I feel like I should be doing a lot better than I'm doing now, right? But that's also unconscious thought. We can get into that later. But anyways, to sum it all up, you did everything. If you're not feeling right in the situation that you're at, you need to be present and look at it and look at yourself in the mirror. And if it's not for you, then you can either change it or leave the situation. But if it's a great time and you're feeling great and you're just scared that it's not going to last, you need to just accept it and realize how much beautiful, amazing things, how much great energy you put in. And you're helping a lot of other people through that presence, through that joy that you're bringing, through the hard work that you're showing. And I'm assuming that you're not doing evil things to be successful. And just be grateful for it. That's the next episode, is how to be grateful. So anyways, thank you for watching. I really appreciate you for giving me the topic. Comment down below if you have any other topics you want me to discuss. I talk about everything: relationships, love, personal, mental problems, sports, entertainment, arts, everything through presence, because that's what it comes down to. If you enjoyed the video, please drop a like. Subscribe if you want to get updates. Tell your friends if they're dealing with hard things. If they're going through situations that one of my video talked about, please let them know. I just really want to help people who are going through problems, because I'm going through a lot of these things too. I'm not talking to you as some guru. I'm going through these things, but I have a great amount of presence that I can sort through them and hopefully help you as well. So thank you very much. Peace out. That's Paradigm Shift.